At first, a boy of 16, named as Nishanth, was always lazy and was not responsible of his well-being. He was often scolded by his father, even in the early mornings when he was getting ready to school. As usual, he goes late to school and depressed. He sits in his bench and thinks of the morning of where he got scolding from his dad. One fine day, his teacher distributed his papers and he had scored very less marks. Suddenly, a boy named Bharath Vishnu makes some noise, and in order to get away, he blames his fault on Nishanth. Again, he goes into depression, thinking that he is hated by everyone, since his teacher sends him out without listening to what he says. After school, he sits and thinks about the whole sorrowful day which he had experienced. Then suddenly, his friends come and mock him. As they mock him, Nishanth gets irritated and reacts, and his teacher sees him reacting. And Bharath once again lies to the teacher, saying that he came to hit me. And yet again, his teacher misunderstands. He calls his parents and complains to them about Nishanth's bad behavior. Nishanth gets frustrated, thinking that his day couldn't get any more worse. So on his way back home, he changes his mind, and instead of going home, he sits in the park. He sits in the park and keeps thinking of his whole day. He closes his eyes for a moment, and a little while later, he decides to go home. When he enters home, his father was tired as he was busy the whole day. He looks at Nishanth and gets more angry. And when Nishanth was confronted by his dad, Nish back-answered him, which provoked his anger, and he slapped him on his face. And Nish falls hard. He sits up and he whines for a moment. And after a while, he says, "I quit." Without the permission of his parents, he goes to the terrace and takes a few steps from his tank top. And he falls. Nishanth commits suicide. Then Nishanth's soul comes out and wanders around. Pretty much joyfully, and assumes that he is free. And then he decides to go meet his classmate Bharath Vishnu and his teacher Mr. Anfas. First, he went to meet his classmate. Bharath Vishnu was guilty of what he had done to Nishanth in school and was very depressed indeed. Nishanth looks at Bharath and realizes that his friend is actually worried about him. Nishanth goes to meet his teacher, Mr. Anfas, who indeed is too in depression, as he shouted at Nish without realizing the actual problem and without listening to a word which Nishanth wanted to say. He too wishes to go and apologize to him. Then, Mr. Anfas and Bharath Vishnu meet at the same place and decide to apologize together to Nishanth's father. They ring the doorbell and meet his father. They speak to him for a while. They explain to him what and all had happened. Suddenly, Bharath asks him, "Where's Nishanth?" They start searching for him all around. While searching for him, they were shocked to see Nishanth's body on the ground. While Mr. Anfas, Nishanth's father, and Bharath Vishnu were mourning for Nishanth, his soul sees everything, observes everything, and thinks what a huge mistake he had done by committing suicide. He closes his eyes for a moment and suddenly, all of a sudden, it was all just a dream. The boy Nishanth is none other than me. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if it was not for that dream, I wouldn't be the person for who I am today. Suicide is committed by foolish people who don't have self-confidence, who don't think that they are not perfect enough to exist in this world. Yes, my dear friends, say no to suicide.